At this point, I think I've done everything at this steel location that's possible. I've created a little room here to make encased industrial beams, which is beams and concrete. Um, the, the steel comes over to here. We went through before. I've got concrete at the top floor because the concrete comes up. I move this one up to here. And then we have the pipes are being generated here, and the steel beams are generated here. The beams and the concrete are coming across into here, and I have 3 machines set up. Only 2 of them are operational, one of them's on standby because I don't have enough to feed that many, but this is enough to trickle on. We've got a container for them here. So the next step will be to, I'll probably end up taking the steel pipes back to the other location, the base location over there, because a lot of the other recipes remaining now to get made, such as rotors. I had an alternate recipe I found, so I can now make with pipes and wire, I can make rotors, and just like stators are pipes and wire, so that you can actually make a nice balanced production line there and then make your motors off the stators and the rotors. So then you're only using 2 products. So instead of the rotors being made with rods and screws, where you have to set up there, so that would be 4 production lines to do rotors and stators using this recipe, whereas using this recipe and the stators recipe, I have 2 inputs coming in, wire and pipes, and I can output 2 separate products and then put them together and make the machine, the motors. So we'll get into making that, we'll get over to that soon. So what will probably happen here is we will truck back the pipes to that location and set up a factory that does the those other things, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm setting up concrete up here so we can then have the materials to make encased industrial beams here on site. Something I do with concrete that is different to everything else I make is I have a storage container per constructor to collect the concrete. And it might not seem like much, it might seem like overkill, but you use a lot of concrete at stages of building in the game, and I like to collect it. But you might say, why aren't you using the industrial storage container? Because it holds twice as much. The main reason is I often come to one and go take all, and that is roughly, when you get the larger inventory, half of your inventory. When you come to this one, that's almost your full inventory when you go take all. And then you end up dragging some back because you didn't want it, and so it becomes for me a bit of a headache using the big containers. That's why I tend to stick with these smaller ones quite often, because I never take more than a container's worth anyway. And if I do, I've got a couple of containers built up. And then I'll simply join these up with a merger down here so I can actually use them in a production line. But this is my backup buffer while other things are happening. Now that we have our steel factory running, we're going to get rid of all of this, because this was a temporary setup. We no longer have a need for it, and it's consuming power. It's handy to have some stuff nearby, but in this case I want to emphasize that temporary means temporary. When you're done, get rid of it, because you don't need it anymore.